Ready? Oh, welcome to the Institute of Sacred Evolution. It's nice to see you guys here. So let's find a comfortable place and say to yourself, peace, be still. Be still and affirm your oneness with all of creation. And Father, Mother God, we do give thanks for this time, this place, as we invoke our guides, our ancestors, and the ancient ones to be with us, to draw near to us. As we allow ourselves to be open and receptive to the information, the wisdom, and the knowledge in which we are about to receive, we give thanks for this time. And as we do, we say Ashe, 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 Asheo, Asheo. And so it is. Well, this morning, we're going to be listening to Brother Ashep. He's going to be speaking to us about karma. Oh, karma. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you on Ashep. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a little karma today. Law of attraction. Death, transformation, justice, yeah, all the things that you know, coincide. That's right. It can be kind of heavy. We're just gonna lighten them up today, a light discussion on a heavy topic. How about that? Great. In our Science of Self series. It's a small intimate setting, so which is great. You know, less pressure, just let spirit do what it do. Yeah. So we just began by simply reminding why we have this Science of Self series. You know, simply adding another tool, if we so choose, to our tool belt. You know, the tool as in, you know, what I use to assist me in my personal growth, spiritual development. Okay. And understanding the lunar cycle is another tool that we can have in our tool belt. You know, you learn how to work that feminine energy. Okay. More specifically, about planting seeds, using that feminine energy to plant seeds when the new moon time, and have that energy to manifest, and manifest when the full moon time. Okay, a lot of intentions, things that we put out there. Celebration. So, and as we look at this new moon, which was actually yesterday afternoon, so today is a perfect time to just, you know, yesterday and today, tomorrow, because the energy's around for like 2.5 days. We're going to carry it on through the rest of the cycle, moon cycle. Again, this is a good time to look at some areas of ourselves, our personality, you know, that we can look at as it coincides with the energy that's coming forth. Okay, we're simply making our journey a little easy by working with the energies that's already here, that's constantly going on in this cycle. So we just simply learn about the full moon cycle, new moon, full moon, to get in this cycle again to have persistence in our personal development from this standpoint. So, with that said, karma, law of attraction, justice, divine and human. Death and transformation. What does that look like as it pertains to our being? Because these are words that we heard about, karma. So let's just start off karma, one of the big ones. What is karma? It's open. Anyone care to share a new? Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. More participation now. So we're going to hold that question. All right.
We'll put that on hold.
Put that on hold. In case somebody else wants to, you know. Right, leave it crackers. Yeah. I have an extension cord for the, right, for the microphone using the adapter. So pretty soon we should be able to use the mic.
Oh,
I have an extension cord,
okay, good.
but I need an adapter because it's the wrong size. You know, Radio Shack got clearance, so
Okay.
You still recording?
Yes.
they actually record. You know, they're aware. Right, plus, you know, especially the ones who watch my live stream, they're aware of the sound also. Someone actually commented about the sound quality.
Right.
So we, you know, let you know we're aware of it. And until then, you know, we usually use the door cracks so the sound is more clear, but we are, next time we should, you know, be wired in directly, so
What happened to the Lebanon mic?
it is here, but you have to have a computer like right
Okay.
up here, you know. So, so again, our topic today is karma, you know, law of attraction, justice, all types of justice, you know, and death and transformation. Yeah, just us. Exactly. It all ties up into that. Again, and it's being worked on in the new moon because actually the energy is coming in. So when the full moon does arrive in a couple of weeks, the energies that's going to be exerting is the energies that deal with those particular things. Okay. And then we just have an awareness, you know, can say, okay, I have not did, I'm confident with what those things, you know, how they resonate, how they apply to me personally within my being. Then I can affect change if I so choose to do so, as it pertains to whatever karma am I getting. You know, am I attracting under the law things that I desire? You know, am I getting justice or exert justice with someone else? Right, so these are the things that we're gonna, you know, get up into. And so, as we was getting more full, how the energy was filling out, the question that was posed first of all was just karma. After that, you know, we was sharing about what our thoughts and beliefs about karma is. So it's open.
I think karma has to do with the energy that you deal with on a consistent basis. And it's usually energy that's on a subconscious level. It's on automatic pilot that we pay attention to it and control it. That's been my experience, but that's what it is to me.
Okay, energy on a subconscious level that does what?
It carries out whatever desires and wishes that you have,
Okay,
whether or not recognized or unrecognized.
okay. So you're saying karma is this thing that we never not be conscious of, but it's like a program or something operating beneath our level of awareness, right? That is causing things to happen, attracting things to us.
A lot of times we say, I don't know why I keep on meeting these kind of people.
Right.
But it's something that you're putting out there that you picked up along the way that you haven't looked at and say, okay, it just served me properly.
Right. Beautiful. I can, agree with that. You know, that resonate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the
Yeah,
ball.
because sometimes consciously you understand that you're doing something, and other times you're doing things unconsciously, and that is still creating karma, and you are responsible for it.
Yeah.
That's why I say we always got to tell the truth, always got to do the right thing, and so that way it minimizes.
Right.
But
Always.
even then,
Right. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, even if we're experiencing karma that we created in the past life, and we just don't understand why certain things are coming back for us. Yeah.
It's just like when you see the people who are protesting against like the unjust economic system.
Right.
I was having a conversation with someone that was saying that those people are on the other end of the stick to see how it is to be abusing power. Because you got the law of polarity in place, so it's just that cause and effect where I guess, you know, in the Eastern philosophy, it's like karma is like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it, but it's just cause and effect. If you have something in your hand, you let go of it, it's going to drop. So if you don't want it to drop, hold it. That's it. Not like karma is like, nothing I can do, I can't forgive myself, it's just going to happen. You know, but,
Okay. Beautiful. Yes, I agree with all of that. Which I'm turning the board around now so we get an actual visual. That's with the visual, you know, in our learning of self, in our Science of Self series, sometimes the visualization helps instill intellectually the information that we have from the left brain. Then we can see it with the right brain. And if we put them together, it helps solidify us retaining and, you know, the information. So karma law of attraction, right, in our tree of life diagram is represented in the fifth sphere, which the deity name of that sphere is Herikuhuti, right? The planet is Mars, okay? And the chakra outside to is the solar plexus chakra, you know. Herikuhuti, Mars, martial arts, martial law, anger, aggression, you know, it all goes into kind of bridges the gap we want to justice, right? Because you said it right. You say you encourage people to do right, so they would have good things to happen. And my mama just said, Mama D said the same thing, but my biological mama said was, if you do good, good things follow you. You do bad, bad things will follow you. And as a child, you know, if I do these things, they're gonna follow me. And I used to imagine them actually like a cartoon, like following me, you know. And as I got older, it's more home now because they follow me because they're coming back to me because I put them out there. That boomerang effect. Yeah. Right. And so one of the things, again, why we like to use a diagram, because we can see that Herikuhuti is directly across your mind. And what happens is these are our higher faculties, Ma'at, Herikuhuti, Horu, right? Because these are faculties more so associated with the heart, as I say, right? Because before in our Science of Self series, we've been a lot talking about the mind, talking about setting our beliefs, communication. We've been talking about our set, devotion, our memory, our emotions, the root, joy, energy, right? Putting this together in our mind. So now we haven't talked too much. We talked about our root once, but now we're talking about Herikuhuti and eventually Ma'at in the upper vibratory frequencies. You know, because this is nothing more than vibrations, different densities of vibration. None of these are good or bad. It's just that, you know, as you're coming from pure source where there's no vibration to the most subtlest of vibrations, you know, all the way down to the most densest vibration, right? And that's represented again by the kinetic tree of life. Starting from the source with zero, nothing's there, to the first manifestation where it's this light is just everywhere, pure, everywhere, just omnipresence of source is represented here, which is again a part of our faculties where our conscious has the ability to go everywhere, right? So again, as we get back to our tree of life, this visual for me has been such a wonderful job. So once a month, we're going to remind ourselves from a visual of the kinetic tree of life about self, as we learn about the science of self. Okay, so again, the Herikuhuti is the opposite of Ma'at. And so what happens is we get nothing to this divine justice real quick because it all plays a part. Divine justice, the law of attraction, cause and effect, death and transformation. You know, we can look at it as separate things and all that's, you know, but there's an underlying right there with them all. So we're just gonna be flowing back and forth between all of them. So divine law is my heart. So as Mama D said, by living the law, right? Living the law, we actually put this on our offense because the divine justice is here to restore the law. Same thing, you know, in nature always battle with the weather, the seasons. You know, everything is just moving, constantly moving. Of course, our consciousness has an effect on that, right? And so sometimes with our consciousness have an effect on the weather, like global consciousness, humanity consciousness, more fear and stuff, the more effect they have on actual weather as well. So these things have to take into account. But we want to focus more so now on individual self because the more we focus on individual self, getting self aligned with our personality, then that's how we effectively change the world on the outside of us. Okay, so again, by living the law, understanding the divine law, Ma'at will assist us in having the law of attraction or karma, you know, working for us. Because what we begin to do, folks, is our subconscious, like through meditations, we begin to program the mind, okay, you know, our memory, our emotions. We begin to communicate to ourselves certain things that we know is right based upon the law. This is how we say we exercise our will. You know, my intentions. What do I intend to do? So our intentions, our root factor, represented by our heart chakra in the sun, you know, Leo, the zodiac. We don't want to do too much of the zodiac because, as a disclaimer for that, that's a different system. Although you can see some correlation, some parallels. Okay, but the deeper you go, then they can get kind of branched off. And if you're not grounded in one of them, then you can be kind of so, you know. But it's a beautiful tool as well, astrology, learning about the zodiacs, okay? But back to the kinetic tree of life, which we want to use the 7 planets and the vibratory frequency of those 7 planets. Again, speaking in the concept of the whole tree of life, so that we can see how this interacts, see how it all plays a part together. Because again, once again, these are all faculties within this being, from 1 through 9 to get to 10, right? 1 plus 9 is 10. So another way, interesting, right? And 10 is represented by earth, the physical body. So we say the spirit is housed, and the soul is whatever is housed in this physical body. You know, when this physical body dies, when the life force leaves, the spirit and soul goes on. We're talking about this complex right here, 1 through 9, that goes on, right? And to the degree that it goes on, it's the degree that we have actually purified these vibratory frequencies in our being, harmonized them, harmonized our mind and our heart. Simply looking at each one of them and saying, okay, if I know what my mind is, know what my heart is, know what makes them up, and I can actually work with them, you know, take my time, then I can actually begin to get my system in alive. So again, just a reminder what we're doing with these Science of Self series muscle like the new moon. The new moon we plant within our being. Certain things you may just want to look at. Okay. And the beauty of it is, it's not like we have to, you know, stay up all night studying and, you know, we got there's nothing really like that. It's just simple as just saying, you know what? I just want to look at that and just what do I see? Okay. Because if you slow down enough, slow down your vibration, look at things, you actually put yourself in a receptive state. So as you look at, you may receive influences from your higher self, which is really faculty. Okay. Then you know, hey, this is what's happening. This is what you see. Okay. And then just by osmosis, by intention, you detach from, it's like you become the all-seeing and you say, okay, this is what I see. Wow. Well, what if this happened? I wouldn't mind doing this, I will this. And you subtly put those intentions out there as you're watching yourself. What you're doing is impregnating your life force, your spirit, with your intentions. Go forth and do this. So one thing I'm really doing is being aware on the, you know, on the outside. On this side, I'm saying, wow, this is what I see. That would be nice. Just sharing the desires of my heart. And if I'm in the right state of receptivity, being connected, then the better those chances of just simply my looking at things and just, we'll have a chance to manifest. So again, a good time for that is the new moon, because even just by talking about these things on the Sunday that's close to the new moon, that we somewhat pay attention, these effects is being changed so slowly on the inside of us, right? And if you happen to read the emails once a week, on Thursdays is the day for our group meditation. So whether you meditate or not, if you read it, it will simply remind you, oh, the new moon, this is the cycle. So again, it's just another subtle way of making subtle changes within my personality, within my being. That's, you know, will have an effect like a butterfly effect. If I'm doing this once a month, month in, month out, once a week, week in, week out, over a 12-month period, I would have actually went through my entire chakras, the entire zodiac. Just looking at things, how is this vibration being manifested? That's all I'm doing, looking at it, how it's being manifested. And if you're doing that from a receptive subtle state, then changes will be made. So I'm speaking through, you know, experience, and some of you may share, I mean, you know, if you've been paying attention over the last few months, you've been doing this, you may know some things also. If not, over the next 6 months to a year, now that I've made it publicly known how it works for me, maybe it work for you as well. But again, back to, you know, more specifically, this full moon, or this new moon, how the full moon has an effect on us, back to the specifics, right? Divine justice. We have human justice and divine justice, right? Human justice and anyone can speak on that. The difference is there. Well, it sounds different, divine and human. Human nature, divine nature. So there might be some difference. What does that look like?
Or human nature, or human law, is that what you said, divine nature and human nature?
Yeah.
Human nature can be flawed based off of preconceived notions, feelings, interpretations of information, prejudice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what.
And divine nature is based off of harmony. So it doesn't look at externals, it looks at the actual situation as a whole. Is it positive? Well, I don't want to say positive. Is it in harmony or is it out of harmony?
Mhm.
You know.
True indeed, true indeed. Got to add something.
Well, it comes to me that if Ma'at is the divine law and her Kahuli is divine justice, that divine justice is being enforced by her Kahuli. It's enforcing the divine law, which in that case, to me, just says divine justice is being enforced by her Kahuli.
Right.
Is that?
That's right. Yeah. So just to clarify that a little bit, just to touch on my say divine law, but that divine law is based upon the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. That's divine. That's the compassion of Christ. Because Christ comes to understand that there is a connection, between the European male and the Moabite female woman. There's an underlying connection that's like, you can't separate. That's like, on the surface, what Satan does on the surface, he's like, man, the white man and the black woman, nah, what they got in common? But my eye will let you know that there's an essence to their being, somewhere down the line, that they're from the same source, right? At some point, they will split up from the same source. So what does that mean? What does that really mean?
Yeah,
Right. Well, all I'm saying is this. Can anyone name, because it sounds though you may be saying that the certain things may not have come from source. Is there anything that is in creation that did not come from source? Okay. Anyone else?
I'd say no.
You say no.
I say no too.
Okay. Right. And so we're dealing with, right, back at 7, our beliefs, Mercury, communication, right? Which is fine because we all have to stop within us. And either our beliefs will be limiting or be expansive. What I mean by limiting or expansive, meaning that there will be something that was limiting beliefs, is a belief that separates.
Yeah, ask you a question. What do
Yes.
you consider the source?
The source is the realm or where what we call the universe came from. Everything in the universe, where it came from. The planets, animals, minerals, the periodic table, the electromagnetic spectrum, everything in the manifest universe came from some place. And that place that it come from is what I'm calling source. Source is what I'm saying, because there is an infinite number of things that can happen on this plane or in the universe. Source is the infinite possibilities, meaning that there is no white, no black, no man, no woman. It's just before anything will take place, it's at its most passive spirit. The universe is at its most passive state. And this most passive state, it is undefinable. So when I say everything came from source, I'm saying that whatever that science can perceive, whatever we can imagine, whatever can come to us through our faculty, whatever comes to us, we can see it, we can imagine, whatever it is, I'm saying it came from that source. So that's what I'm speaking when I say source. You have a question?
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it too. And I believe that we all come from source. The Europeans are GMO. It's something we did, right, to create that. It's still a part of nature,
Right.
but it's deviant on some parts of nature.
Right.
It's like a seed, right?
Right.
Like for when you see you plant a seed, it gets planted in darkness, and that would be like the lower realms, right? And as a seed is unfolding, it has to push through that darkness to get to the light. But before that, it doesn't have no idea about all of that, right? So in that state of consciousness, you know, it's like we're waking up to realize that, okay, this thing is bigger than we thought. Like when you look at Heracleity and the Mars is energy, is activity, right?
Right.
And then you have Jupiter. Mars is the last personal planet. After you cross that threshold, then you go into the outer planets, right? Which is Jupiter. So, right. So it's between Mars and Jupiter is the lower realm and the higher realm, basically. Okay. In terms of like consciousness too, right?
You talk about from an astrological standpoint.
Yeah, just looking at the planet and then seeing how they're connected, right? My eye is just like divine, like everything is it's balanced because my eye, that's the scales of Libra. Now, when you're dealing with divine justice, that's like talking about like, you know, cause and effect, right? And because my eye is the larger planet, because Jupiter is huge, right? It's the bigger thing. So you can do whatever you want to do, but because of the connection between Heracleity and my eye, you're going to find out that the things that you're doing needs to be, like, you got to make adjustments. You know,
if you want harmony and balance.
Yeah. But the way energy flows is if you get it set in this direction, like if I jump off the roof, I can't stop and change my mind. Law has to take over, and that's the Heracleity and the connection between the divine law. There's the divine part of that, and there's the divine justice. You jumped off, so you fell. That's just it. That's how I look at that connection.
But the GMO is still in the middle of the.
Well, the GMO,
divine justice and the divine law. The GMO is right in there.
It's like,
that's why the GMO.
I'm just trying to put it on the second grade level. That's all.
You see, like when we talk about the seed, you have in the Asian culture they have they spare trees. So you know how the trees be growing up and looking all crooked. We manipulate the tree to do that, but the tree still has its divine nature to sprout upwards. See what I'm saying? So if you change the course of something, that's interference because naturally it wouldn't do that. So if we're talking about a certain group of people, then yeah, we have sources that say, okay, these people came from whatever, but you still got to use the divine material to even do that. But if you manipulate it on your way that you want to do it, then you will get that. It's like spiking the punch.
We good.
Yeah.
So yes, the GMO do exist. Yes, there is. There is a certain energy that's out of alignment, you know.
Out of order.
Right. So we agree on that. You know, you're saying that it still came from the same place. Right. Now, what it's doing now, that's what the justice comes in. Once we become aware that it's doing things that align on purpose, then what do we do? What do we do?
Erase it. You can erase it.
Checkmate them.
That's right.
Okay. Right.
Educate our people so that we know how to carry on ourselves, you know, in the proper fashion, and hopefully, because I personally believe we have to educate and give them their humanity, because they don't have humanity. They're kind of.
Okay, great. And it sounds right.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Maybe they're long enough, you know, humanity.
But maybe they just choose not to. Right.
That's right.
They choose not to. That's what the question on the floor is. Because we all can agree that there are some beings on this planet that choose
not
to go against my odds.
You seen Jupiter ascending, right?
Yeah.
Like they were trying to use the humans to basically maintain their physical being in this lifetime.
Right.
Because based on my eye and divine justice, you're going to reincarnate.
Right.
But it's like I done got all this work to maintain this dynasty that I don't want to have to start back over from scratch. So I'll do whatever I can do to help, you know, live.
Right. And again, that's a good example because they were lacking their human qualities.
Like personality, humanality.
Right. They were humanality.
I like that.
Right. Because the human true personality is understanding, you know, just the opposite, that we are eternal already. And we actually do the work, You know, I'm keeping what I got because I don't, you know, right? So, but back to this justice, the signs though, right? From my perspective, we're talking about human justice and divine justice. Because what I'm saying is that, generally speaking, human justice, Mars, solar plexus, liver, third chakra, anger. Generally speaking, we find somebody that's doing something that we feel as though is against our mind. You know, there's a bigger, you know, universal law of Mars. They're our beliefs. We feel as though it's true to us. So whether they're out of alignment, whether they're globally, yes, you definitely shouldn't be doing that because you know you're doing something wrong. But whether or not we just feel, right, that they're doing something wrong, or think we believe they're doing something wrong, or I see that they may do something, whatever the case may be. If we look to say, I got to do something to you now, right? The angle I'm taking is that that's just human justice.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it is what it is. And if you say, because I see you doing this, then I'm going to do this because you did that. And my intention is to show you a lesson. That's why I'm justifying this justice. Okay. Right. Whatever it may be, on whatever level, physical, emotional, you know, commerce, whatever it may be. And right, what we're saying is also, we're dealing with karma and law of attraction. So which means that at some point in time, if someone feel as though we're doing something that's not right, they may want to exert force to correct an injustice what they perceive.
You have to do that through Rudy because you're dealing with Mars.
Right.
Whatever you do is connected to Ma'at, so it will balance.
Right.
And then you may not live in this lifetime to realize that.
Right.
Because you will get it. One way or another.
Yeah. So that again, that's how it all ties in. Karma, the law of attraction, justice, divine, or you know, and divine justice. What he's saying is that, listen, if I work, you know, get out stuff, what we gotta do as a people and not worry about them.
Right.
What I gotta do as an individual person and not worry about you. What I'm doing is that my intention is to get in harmony. So since I'm putting out there, my intention is to get in harmony. What's gonna come back to me is harmony. So, with the divine justice and the human justice, we gotta say which one do we want to deal with. We're gonna exert force and deal with them on the outside, or exert power and deal with them on the inside.
I just want to throw out what is it, the Zimmerman guy? And the Trayvon Martin, it's like he got off of human justice. But then when you turn around and you really look at the whole situation, it's like his life been hell ever since.
And I think he knows it. I think he's trying to get caught. You know what I mean? He's like, come on, y'all, help me repent.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to pay for something.
Right. That's how I'm just sensing from him by his actions.
Right.
Yeah, because he just been, it's been from pulling guns on his ex-wife, to pulling guns on her family, to he was supposed to have a fight with DMX or something like that, or some kind of promotional thing. To, you know, just all of these different run-ins with the law ever since the situation happened. And it's like nothing that he has not elevated, you know, like, so like, oh, well, financially he had got all that money, but in the end, that money's gone. Like, none of that is there. That went to the lawyers or wherever it went to. But now it's just like,
So his life's a living hell.
exactly.
But that's the injustice part. Because it's just like this other guy who, they said that the police had a gun on him and told him to stop. And the guy kept coming. Then he put his hand in his pocket and the police kept saying, stop. And I said, the only difference was, this was a European. That's why he did not shoot. Because he was a European and he was fighting, you know, that's just like you shooting yourself, your buddy. You know what I'm saying? So we don't do that. So to me, it wasn't really, they were trying to say that he was a police that was exerting exerting his justice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, it's a white boy. If it had been a black boy, it'd been different.
Right.
Right,
Exerting his purpose.
right, right.
Run that program on me.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Different program.
Keep his membership
Let me
high.
see that, let me see that same situation with a melanated
That's
person,
right.
and I named stretching a little.
So that happened. They're running the wrong program.
Right. But again, so what do we have a choice about that situation? You know, we can use our energy, our martial energy, the energy of Mars. We all have it. We can use that energy to say, man, I see what they're doing. Let's do something about them. Or use that energy to say, look here, I go to the cause of it, right? Then if I just the cause, and the cause we're saying is that based upon what was put out there beforehand, cause effect, law of attraction. Evidently, even as a people, this is coming to us because it's a people, evidently, if we follow our train of thought as a unity, as a people, we've done some things and have some things come back on us as a people.
Right.
So again, it brings us back to how do we exercise our martial arts, martial law, our martial faculty within our own being.
I want to throw out another thing for that too, is if you're saying that, like, okay, we're reaping a karmic debt at this time, that we consciously as a whole, through television and things like that, have been manipulated that we deserve a certain level of treatment. And I think that we hold on to that, and it's reinforced through like a 12 Years a Slave or The Butler. Like all of these movies that just reinforce like, well, you're better than you was before, but you ain't gonna go to the top because you ain't meant to go to the top. And if people hold that as a belief, or even a concept of it can only be one of us to bring us out of something, or that we need a certain other group to bring us from wherever we are. And through movies, they constantly show it that we don't get help from one another, that we get help externally. And we hold that consciousness as a belief, then we perpetuate that, and we never break through it, through the law of attraction.
Then they stir that energy up for us to actually keep reliving it, refeeling it, and elevating that energy in us that just continues to multiply that energy being in our cycle. Like roots.
Right.
Yeah. That was
Right.
like, at that age, all the kids that were watching that are now my age. And, you know, every time I see a movie that's about slavery, I can't take it. It's just, the energy just goes so far.
Right, but you know what,
Like,
see, that's why this place is so important.
Exactly.
You know, because, and that's why it's not a lot of us here, because a lot of people can't even imagine that thought that you just put out. Because that's awesome what you said. It's awesome what Siobhan just said. So we're taking that energy and we are doing something. We are taking it to the next level. But how many people are even going to come here to hear it? Because I don't want to deal with that. First of all, they got to deal with self.
Well,
They want to do it self.
I think more than you realize, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm a product of my generation, where that we're tired of having the old slavery conversation. Like, I'm so over it. Like, if it's not talking about how we elevate from that experience, then I just can't. I can't muster the energy for it anymore. So I think it's my generation. I don't even think it's just me.
But that's why you're here. That's what we're saying. And we need to bring more of your generational people here.
You give me hope, Mrs. You give me hope.
I bet your generation is watching it online. I bet you could get live streams and then the YouTube hits and stuff, because those numbers are elevated. Those numbers are there. They are real. 300, 400, we're getting up there in our views and folks being able to get access to this, and not just in this area, but around the world.
Right. And I know Sheila has a group that's watching. Hey, Sheila.
That's right. It's colorful. Yeah, and to the rest of you who are watching, feel free, right, to visit our website, ISE Enlightenment, ISENlightheNment.org, ISEenlightenment.org. That way, you can actually donate, to help support what we're doing here, because we do just operate off donations. What you see before you the past 10 years, simply donations, whatever we're doing, everything we're doing, the outreach programs, everything done by donations. So please, as you feel free, so move, so I'll let you watch this, do a little maneuvering, donate something to the cause. We appreciate that and continue to enjoy watching. All right.
Or buy a DVD.
Or buy a DVD, exactly. We do have a few online now, and we're in the process of updating our catalog to have the archive DVDs available as well. We do have some, but little here, little there, and for long we'll be everywhere.
Sound like
He is definitely inspiration, right? So yeah, that's what that justice comes back to, right? So now let's just, what does that look like? It looks like death and transformation, which is another aspect of this martial energy, martial temperament. More specifically, to the deity that's personified as Eric Kahudi, right? As Eric Kahudi is known as having swords, 2 swords, right? And that he's a warrior. Number 5, he balance. He keeps the balance, right? And so for us, how we exercise our will with Eric Kahudi is those things that are within our being that we consciously know of. We just say, hey, you know what? Once I see it, do I see if it's benefiting me or not? If it's not benefiting me, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. And so I use Eric Kahudi to cut it out, right? Eric Kahudi is best known for cold turkey. You know, again, we all have Eric Kahudi in us. And at some point, we've all experienced that thing of cold turkey. We were just something, no matter what, the circumstance, where it was like, boom, no more, ain't doing that. We could either just did it or had an epiphany. Whatever happened, we didn't do it no more.
I have a saying on that one. I say, a made up mind is a dangerous thing.
Oh, yeah. They say, especially from a woman. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Right. Oh, and that's beautiful because I guess that's because of that feminine energy,
right,
of devotion. You know,
she done.
She's done.
She done. She done. This is done deal.
But when she there, she there. She there. She there. That's a beautiful thing, right? The emotions is a beautiful thing, right? So, which is again, even for the men, as we look at ourselves, look at understanding that we have no self-power within us, you know, and as that's like comes around, you know, cancer, you know, zodiac, whatever. We look at that. We're also looking to fortify that within us as well. So we're committed and devoted to something. Our heart is in it. You know, our whole being is up into that thing. The same thing, once we realize we got to, it's a done deal. We have to, you know, take this from our feminine energy, say, cut that energy off, because that's all the feminine do. We cut that energy stream off. And again, we as the men have the intellect. We can direct the energy, you know, but it's the actual energy that causes things to actually do what it do. Right. So again, we appreciate that feminine energy, physically as well as non-physically, outside as inside. So again, back to the Eric Kahudi and cutting those things off. Death and transformation. Exactly. Eric Kahudi, Mars, solar plexus. You know, when someone does something with a group of people who we say are doing things that's not in harmony and balance, again, one thing we say is, what can I do to them? One thing we say, what could I do to make sure that I'm getting my in order so that I'm creating for myself that bubble of protection, the edge of protection around me, lest I dash my foot against a stone. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Right? The angels or the angles of light. Right here, these are the angels. You know, you got Cancer, all set, Gabriel. You got Heru, Anael, Mercury, Raphael. You got Haru, Will, Michael, Michael. So the angels is right here as well, the angels of light. So again, as we say, stand, take our place on the throne as Haru, the son, the child. This is my story. This is what happened. I take my place as Haru, the son, which I am aware, simply looking at my faculties. Tahudi told me this when I first came to ISE. That's all I hear him saying. Just look at it. Just look at it. Even in class, the reason we just give you the information. Right. Look at it. If it don't resonate, put it on the shelf. But still, look at it. Just look at it. And so you're looking at it from your proper place, as in this is not me. I'm just saying how the tool that I use behaves, which means that how the tool, the animated tool, you know, it's not like a chair, you know, a hammer, saw, we have these tools, right? Phones is tools. But we also have our spirit, our mind, our heart. That's a tool that I use on this plane to interact, you know, to make the connection between the differentiate, the things that are separate on the surface, but connected in oneness in essence. How do I do that? With the tools that I have, which are the angles of light. So again, understanding my eye, using the tools to live according to my eye, I would get these heads of protection around me so that angles, you know, all these angles, Mercury has a job to do, the God job. This is what we need to do when I'm in balance. You know, so this protection is in harmony, you know, like throw shot. So again, these things is like, it is magic. It's, you know, it's mystical, but it's common sense and so tangible at the same time. Like I said, especially as I like to make the diagram. Okay, because we're talking about this is who I am, talking about my heart and my mind. And what does that look like? Look like these planetary energies, these vibratory frequencies. You know, and how can I work with these, my heart and my mind, which together form my personality, to have my personality whole, so that I can experience my soul. So my soul can infuse my personality. You know, because you say this is where it comes down to right here. 5 and 4. Here, Kahudi in my eye. If we're able to cut those things out that is weighing us down, you know, that's all it is, weighing our vibration down. And there's a good chance that we may be, our vibration may be lighter than a lot of the masses, right? Which is great, and that may be where we want to be, just lighter than the masses. So when we want to breathe, do some things, we can just ride above the chaos, the madness, right? And for some of us, who's on a little bit more extensive journey, we should say, I want to transcend this lifetime, because I feel as though it's time for me to go home. So I need to be a little bit more committed, a little bit more, you know, just watch a little bit more diligently. Although we all watch to grow right now vibration. Some of us should a little bit go home. And the way to do that is to have our heart and our mind to align, which means that our soul, our omnipresence, our omniscient, and our omnipotence factor, we have full access to. Because this is our big. And even with the imbalances, imperfections going on, everything's not totally balanced, we still experience these things. We still get to, you know, to stuff. Okay, man, it's beautiful. Wow, you know, thank you. We still, you know, we say something and it just, boom, right there. It's like, wow, I just said it. And it just happened right there. You know, I didn't get excited about it. You know, that's the difference between having root and second. Down here, you get excited, you hold the image. You use that emotion, that joy, and you get excited about it. Boom, you use that energy. But when you operate from your soul level, baby, the sound vibration, the vibration that's sent forth. Because I'm planting the seed within the source that's already around us. Because even though we sit here in this room on earth, everything is still what they call atoms. And the atoms got, you know, still space between the atom, and even the atom itself got space in there. All that source. So we're saying is that we learn the science itself. We learn how to communicate, communicate with our soul through the sound heck out of second, impregnating the will, or the will impregnating second, the energy, right? We're speaking it from Tahuti. So we impregnated source that's all around us to materialize, to make it happen, whatever we choose to happen, on any plane, any dimension, anywhere. Because that's what we are. Because we're light enough, our vibration is light enough to access the lighter frequencies at will or consciously to live there so that everything is effortless. Effortlessly.
So the chart, like just quick, like starting from the ground up. That's when we get to we have to offset the devotion.
Right.
That can go anywhere, right?
Right.
But devoted to chemically,
Right, exactly.
Do that, right? So that's like looking at the seven, right? Your
Right.
mind.
Right.
And then you're dealing with like, but your devotion is grounded in just like the material.
Right.
Right. But then when you go into, what's that?
Head of root, right.
Head of root.
Head of root.
So then that's like people who are just imagining, being drunk and having a good time, right?
Right.
But as you go up and you balance that with a root,
Right.
now you have both sides, and you're using that energy of the devotion that's like rising, like the Kundalini.
Right.
You really have to devote your mind and your Heru to be on Herakarudi and Mahat. Right. Because the higher realms, that stuff is pouring down. Right. So this stuff is lined up, we're not going to see it. Right. It's like if I'm, like I say, if I have a cup and the cup has a top and I'm pouring this water, that's like divine amen, right? Right. The spirit coming out, but the top is on the cup. So the water's just spilling everywhere. I have to open up the cap. And that opening of the cap is all of these 10, 9, 8 to 6. That's being balanced by you observing Ma'at and Karudi, because the Mars is how you're really using your energy and seeing that unconsciously. If I use my energy and I'm not paying attention to where I'm using it, right, stuff is in motion. Right. Then that's when you make a mistake. You make it seem like it's a mistake. But once you do that, then the whole thing just comes together. Yeah, that's it. I see it. This is the science of self, baby. That is essence. Yeah, that's it.
Excuse me, I was going to say, one of the things when I was learning martial arts was the instructor kept saying, empty your cup. All the things that you had to unlearn it, but to the point where you just empty it when you don't know anything. Building on that, then you can receive that divinity. But what I wanted to ask about was in the science of self, and I see you got chakras. What about, and I think I've posed this before, because I know the numbers go, different. Does the numbering of the chakras line up with the numbering of your tree of life in any way?
No, they do not at all.
So is there any pattern to it that would allow you to
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was looking at where the lines cross and wondering if those were like energy centers.
Not necessarily. One way can look at the lines is I connect Haru again to all of them. And then again, Haru is connected to 1 through 10. Haru is connected to all of the spheres. So one way, generally speaking, Haru, the heart chakra, Haru, is in the center of our chakras as well. It's in the center of the tree of life. So when our heart is open, right, this is as though we have access to all of our faculties of our being. We can actually choose where the tree is coming from. Another way we look at the numbers, going a little deeper, is that the numbers have a relationship with 10. 0 plus 10 is 10, which is the two extreme opposites. Because 0 here, we're saying is source. We're saying everything is here, but ain't nothing moving. So you don't know, you can't tell what something is because there's nothing for you to say, compare it to. So, right, so boom. But down here at 10, everything is we have the 4 elements, we got the periodic table. I mean, there's so many separations going on. It's hard for sometimes you're like, man, you mean all this stuff is really connected in one? Yeah, that's where it came from. So that's the correlation between 0 and 10. You have 9 and 1. Set devotion, her devotion is to Osir. Because Osir is like the first king. Go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, because I have where these actually do line to the chakras, right? So the 10 is your root. Okay. And 9 is, 10 is the body, so that's your grounding. 9 is your root. 3 is your navel. 3 is 7 is 8. 6 is your heart. And your throat chakra is 4 and 5. 3 and 2 are your third eye. And 1 is your crown.
Okay.
And 0 wouldn't be on it at all.
Exactly.
But I also want to say, I wasn't going to say anything because it was your presentation,
Right.
but since she brought that in,
Right.
I would like for y'all to know that there are several trees of life, and you can always turn it around to reflect whatever it is. He's using the Egyptian. She's using chakra when she's talking about that. You can use numerology. You can use a lot of different ones. So don't get the systems mixed. And this is what we usually do. We're trying to put too much into, even though they do relate. You can even use the tarot on here. So I wasn't going to say anything, but when you brought it up, it's like, okay.
Right.
Just for the clarification.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, and that's beautiful. That's what I did. Because
That's his.
I took the base tree of life that I learned 2 doors down, S.O.S Society, and I superimposed what I from my studies and my own experiences. So when I said no, that was based upon, well, my tool, how I use it. But you can, like she's done, make that associated with the chakras that way.
Yeah, because this is the chakra tree of life. Right.
Right. Okay. And the reason why, for me, as we view this on the board, the reason why I do that because my Mercury and communication, for me, I just say, well, that's throat. You communicate. So that's throat chakra. For me, because heart's the same. Offset devotion, root chakra, because it deals with, on this plane, shelter, survival, nurturing, taking care of, making sure it had all the need on this plane. Of course, Mars, I did the solar plexus, that's it. Liver and anger and just an aggression, the will to do. I got the will, the power to direct this will, which is a separate will from here, but I'm using that in terms of a lot of systems within by the third chakra, the will, that energy of the will, right? Of course, my Jupiter, same thing here. But again, what she's done was
She just used chakras.
right. So, like a little different, I just took, like you said, I'm superimposing some other information on here. And based on what I've been doing so far, it seems to say, okay, cool. I haven't gotten as far as the glands, and which we get to that part as well. Because ideally, is to take the vibratory frequency of these energies and to have the correlation with the glands and the workings of the physical body. So as I'm doing these rituals once a month, the new moon, I'm actually maybe eating certain foods, more so specifically. But definitely what I do is I use the colors because they have a color system also. And if we do have a purple candle, that's why I wrote to remind myself to do a purple candle today. Because I burn the candle throughout the entire month for whatever energy is being represented. So just to kind of remind myself during this month, I'm just going to be aware of certain things about my being. Instead of about being aware, I actually have a subtle change in what's actually taking place. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, you can even do colors. Each Sephiroth on here has a vibration of a different color too. And it's just a lot.
Just comes down to, what you believe and how you communicate to yourself. Yeah. And Brother Elakushan mentioned exactly what it is coming from Gail on up. It's really an initiation. Because when you look at Gail, there are certain laws that affect Gail on Earth also. Many times about the 4 elements. Your sun, your water, fire, sun, water, earth, and air. We can learn how to better assimilate the essence of those things within our being, then we pretty much, take care of air right there. The rise and set with the sun, using the energies that's already here. Then you're the sun, the water, the air, the earth, the food, things like that. So, did you? Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
No, I was just kind of taking notice that, okay, so each has a planet connection, an energy, a color. So in that case, frequency, vibration, and I don't want to say rhythm, but its own pattern.
Right.
Okay, so that just helped it to resonate a little more with how I was pulling it together.
Yeah. And another thing about the numbers, I was saying, like, for example, 9 and 1 is 10, or 7 or 7. But those are becoming your higher self. And then we have 8 and 2, which is 10, right? This is communication from information. What I get on this plane, information from the senses, from communication, thought. This is information coming directly from source.
Right.
You know, unlimited.
Or intuition.
Intuition, exactly, intuition. And then
7 and 3.
7 and 3, again, as I mentioned earlier, bringing things into existence, manifest. This is done again on this plane, the physical plane, using the senses, using the energy that's here. This is just done through simply, right, exactly. And then we have 6 and 4. 6 and 4 is 10. We have the will. What am I willing? And that's what you're basing the law. What am I will is backing the law, rooted in law, right? And of course, 5 and 5 is in and of itself, Erica, who it is if something's out of line, I'm gonna get it back in line. Because I'm 5 and 5. I'm the sign it arms. I'm the HNIC. I'm like, you best believe, baby.
Lastly, is I like when you have different phrases that mean certain things, but running on all fours. If you were to add 1, 2, 3, and 4 together, that's 10, and that's Aser, Tahuti, Seker, and Ma'at, or all of the omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence, and then the actual divine law. So running on all fours would be like, so that's 10 too.
Right. Yeah. Tell you, contact is the divine law. If you can enforce within your being, that's what the enforcer. The enforcer say, man, y'all, stop that. I'm gonna hang you up and tie you out to dry. Right. You can if you want to, but if you're looking to grow and evolve, and on the direct path, which means you don't want to do the indirect path and learn from things that may cause you pain and discomfort. You can learn from pleasure and joyful things, right? By taking the initiative and doing some depth and transforming things of your own being, based upon the law. And it's like, okay, cool. Once you live in this law, like she said, it opens up the door 1, 2, and 3. It's like, here's your reward. There's nothing stopping you from accessing this because you are in line, right.
And I just want to go back to 5 because I like it's like 5 is like whole because it's you said transformation even though you don't have. I know people like when they see death it's like to die, but when something dies it leaves space for something new, and then the karma is the balancing. So it's like it's like a balance in itself.
Exactly.
I see the yin and yang is what I'm seeing with that one.
Right. Yeah. Another
and then numerology 5 is change.
Right.
So it's like,
Cool. And then you have also just a little lighter scale, not so much numbers, but just with 5 and 8 and 4 and 7. This can be looked at as the left brain and the right brain, and the lower left and upper left, and the lower right and upper right. Right, because the left brain does usually separate things, break things up, analyze, see what's going on here. You're different. And the right brain, putting things together, creative, Oh, that's so creative. Let's bring everybody in, do this, and everything's so great. But they just do it on different levels. Now here, this is more on the surface level. When you look at things and say, oh, this is black. Well, it's not the same thing. For example, what's different about these on the surface is that this is light brown, this is dark brown. This is short, this is tall. What Erica Hootie does is separates things on the deeper level, right? Which means that maybe they give out different vibrations. You can't see it on the surface, but the vibrations are actually different. So Erica Hootie can just yada, yada, yada. The same with Kangaroo. On the surface, they're together or they're both tables. My eye on the surface underneath, well, there's still energy. So, you know, this may not have been the best example to use, but
That's
use
a
this
good
table.
example.
It was, okay.
But even because this table, even though it's darker, is going to carry a different vibration than both tables.
Right, right. Okay, great, thank you. Because the idea is, and you're right, because ideally, we should be able to choose any two things that appear to be separate. And then we look at them and say, okay, it is separate on the surface because, and underneath because. And at the same time, it's the same on the surface because, and underneath because, bam.
And that's metaphysics.
Yes, it is best. So to the degree that you can look at things circumspectly, it's to the degree that you're open and have access because you're not limited. You can see the totality of things. The essence, you can just, you mind, baby. I got you. I see. I see you. You know, I see how you're light. I see how you're separate on the surface and underneath. Right. And because I can see that, I ain't judging nothing. I can just see whether it's either in balance or not. And if I have the opportunity to ease it back into balance, I can, information now come to you. But if not, at least I know what it is. And still, it's not affecting my vibrational because I went power.
And that's divine.
That's the way I see it. Right. And that's it. And that's how we use this science of self-applicable, you know. Like I say, this month, the new moon folks right now here at the week. Because looking at self, how do I use my energy of aggression? The energy of aggression, because we all have it. How do I use my energy of aggression?
Because some are aggressive, some are passive.
Passive aggressive, exactly. Aggressive, aggressive, passive aggressive. Constantly, unconsciously.
So pretty much you're saying that right now we're in a moment of change. If it's 5, so it would be a moment of change. So internal reflection and shifting. Shift.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Excellent presentation. Excellent.
Cool.
Been marinating that for a while.
Cool. Beautiful. Like I said, this is, I was mentioning, you know, the base of this tree of life I got from S.O.S Society, but I went ahead because I, you know, worked with it so long, I saw some correlation in my own self. And so.
Is this diagram available like on the internet?
Yeah, it's all over. It's all over. We teach it here, but we teach it differently, so when y'all get it in class, it's a little bit different.
Right.
And that's why I was saying, don't give it, that's his.
Right.
But it is the same. And you always have the 10 Sephiroth, and those are the 10 stations, or you can say the 10 characteristics from inside yourself.
Seems to me like it's a chart for relativity sort of thing. You know, how do things connect and differentiate from one end of the spectrum to the other, from, you know, I am the end and the beginning, and then it gets
As above, so below.
Right.
Because what I refer to the Ein Sof knot is what he has, the Amen, which is like the reflection of all of this. This is how it's broken it down for itself here, to experience itself here. Same thing with us looking at ourselves as being the spirit in the physical body, but we are the hands and feet of the Amen or the Ein Sof, the God. Okay, so when we were talking about the GMOs, yes, everything comes from that, but we, as our God self, create some stuff too that ain't good. Okay, you see what I'm saying? But everything is working from the Amen. Because there are those of us who are here on this planet who are still working for the Ein Sof, but they're working on the negative side. Okay, they have to do that so that you who say that you want to be all wonderful and good can have some opposition.
It's a balance.
It's a balance, because everybody's not going to work on the negative side. And I ask you right now, who would be Hitler? Any hands going up? You know what I'm saying? Who would be Judas? Any hands going up? Who would be Joffrey Dahmer? Any hands, but they were working for it. And that's what he was talking about, you know, in metaphysics. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's different. It seems like it's different, But it is technically and literally the same. And it's we who are differentiated and say that it is this and it is that. And that's where your Godhood comes in, but most of us don't want to take attention to that. We just want to be on the good side. But even your bad side has a good, is a positive. Because sometimes you have to be pushed to that point where you push out your negative side because somebody needed to experience that negative side of you. But you call it negative, you call it bad, but it was the thing that was needed for the time that it happened.
It really just energy is neither bad or good, it is.
You know? But depending on how I perceive what you do. And then if I say, well, that's a bad thing and I do this, but it was really a good thing because then when I did it back to you, you said, okay, I got it.
Right.
Right.
Everything that we create even in our mind, it's like we have to deal with the opposition of it, of our own creation. So if we say this is bad when divinely is good, then you're going to experience or opposite of what you thought was bad to see all was good. Or if you say this is good, you're going to see what bad is. So you might as well not say none of that. Just it is what it is. Still, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing, because it may look hard, or it may seem challenging, right? And it can be challenging at times for those when we get on the path, because a lot of us have experienced, you know, we've heard it. Once you set your foot on the path, you know, things kind of get a little bit, you know, turbulence, even more so than, right? And my theory behind that is that because as long as you're doing what you've been doing, there's a certain vibration that you carry with you. Right. When you set your foot on that path, when you exercise your will to start living the laws of Ma'at, you start doing some things to cut some things out, you're changing your vibration. Your vibration is coming lighter.
Right.
While at the same time, there's some things that was already set in motion that are coming back. Yeah. Since you're a little lighter now, your vibration, and those things that will cause was that a heavier vibration. In my theory, there's a chance that when the heavier vibrations come back to your lighter vibration, it feels a little bit a little bit more.
Like, why do I feel different? What is this shift?
Right, I'm doing the right thing, but now all this other stuff is starting to happen.
It's the momentum of what you brought with you. You know, it's just like when we took a bucket and you start swinging it. The more you swing it, the more the water stays in. When you start slowing down, some of the water starts coming out.
It's like your breakthrough.
Right, right. And this is what we have to understand. And that's why I say when you put your foot on the path, you know, you say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take this course. This is what I need to be doing. Then keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. But when you don't, it's like you're taking it back from the universe. It's like you being an Indian giver. And the universe is like, what? I thought we were going this way. That's what's happening.
I'm looking
Oh, yeah, yes.
6, 7, 8, and 9. That creates like a boxing ring. It's like a ring. You see the square?
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at the top, is the masculine soul, like the triangle, and then you see the heart. That's an upside down triangle. So that's like spirit, like that.
Oh, sorry.
The Trinity. You have like the Holy Trinity in the higher realm and then in the lower realm. And this is the box where the battle happens. Right in here. If you see the square, this is the Carved Cross. This is spirit in its where we have access to this, right? Readily. But this here is like that. It's always unconscious, but it's like you see the Trinity. Right. Yeah.
There's many ways you could create.
But then, if you think about Harut, that would be synonymous or comparable to Jesus. And if you look at between this point, this is a cross. That's like a cross.
Crucifixion.
Once you start to really get up, because we usually like I was saying, we polarize ourselves on just thinking, right? But we don't do with the imagination and the heart and that. Some people stay on that side, and it's you're giving and giving, but you're being a detriment in your giving. So you think you're being good, but it's not balanced, and you have to use all of that. And it has to get crossified with observing Ma'at and divine justice.
And once that happens, then the top soul comes down and flows.
Right.
Cool.
Like
That's
that crucified.
So yeah, the beauty of this thing, man, is take the ball and run with it. You know, whatever way it resonates, you want to add something to it, do it. Because like I say, this is a good way of having a visual to help assist as you, you know, say, I need to work on self and make some adjustments, you know. That's all I'm saying. What does that look like? Change your mind. What does that look like? In my heart, what does that look like? Here's just one way of actually seeing what that look like, what you can actually, you know, have the intention of what you want to do with the attention, because you know the details. So your heart and your mind, your right brain and your left brain is being aligned as you work on a particular goal. So bring your.
You know, we can even look at this is Jesus Christ. This whole thing would be Jesus Christ.
Right.
And then these 10 attributes, I mean, would be his disciples, the 12 disciples. And, you know, I mean, there's so many different ways to really work with it.
And break it down and analyze
Because
it.
each one of these sephiroths that they have on here would be a characteristic of the disciples. Imagination, will, divine law, all of them.
Yeah. And now we're doing taking our ancient science, our ancient knowledge, making it practical today.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, that was an excellent presentation. We have some announcements. Of course, we still have our meditation every Tuesday through Friday up here at 12 noon. The women's group will be meeting at 2 o'clock today, so we have a lot of food back there to eat. So enjoy, eat, and then get out of here. For our workshop, we're going to be completing our workshop. It has been a very dynamic weekend for ladies. It really, really has. I think everybody's really have been enjoying this weekend. A lot of powerful information has come out of it. And we are real excited about taking it on the road. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we are. Okay, and we have our silent retreat that's coming up. And we really, really need you to participate in that. We've been putting this off for 3 years. Pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. So this year, I'm hoping that we can make it happen. We do have some people coming down from New York who want to participate in it. I have room in my car if anybody wants to go. 3 more people can be in my car, you know, as far as being out there. And we need to, you know, kind of correlate our times. Who's going to go? Who has a car? Who's going to drive? So that people who don't have a car can ride with you. Okay, that's what the silent retreat is, $125. Everybody's going to get their own little ditty bag to entertain themselves with. And it's going to be a lot of fun, you know, to go out and just stop talking, you know, and then commune with spirit. And it's a beautiful place and it's a wonderful opportunity. Okay.
I think we have some full moon stuff that Teray has planned. I think he said.
He said the dates, but he's not here to tell us what the dates are because we have to choose the dates and when we want to go to do that. That's a full moon meditation he wants to do in May, June, July, but I don't have the dates. Yeah, I was hoping that he would be here so he could share that with us. Okay, any other announcements, concerns?
Earlier there was the announcement. It wasn't made in here, but it was in the newsletter and the updates about an IMU. So we're just gonna schedule that for a later time. We'll let you know when we talk about IMU.
Say it a little bit. There we go.
That's right. What we doing?
We're gonna, at this time, we're gonna ask that you give to the Institute of Sacred Evolution. Without doing hurt or harm to yourself. And I'm going to ask if some of our students who would like to give some messages. They would like to come up and give some messages. I know we had some brave students.
Let's start the long.
I look for Sean. I'll come to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Mercury is personifying you have the information, and you are taking this information and applying it the way it should be. You are a messenger of the gods, for the gods, to the gods. I'll leave that with you.
Precious, right? Tell me. Now is the time for you to start using your creativity to the fullest. Financially, this is a good time for you to start pushing your jewelry and any other creative ventures that you have going on. Now leave that with you.
Greg, now come here. Yes. You have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. I'm just encouraging you to look at your experiences in life where you are and see if they're resonating with you to like, yes, happily, this is perfect, going where I want to go. And if not, maybe you should look at some of the information that you already have within you and see what you're doing with that information.
Beautiful. Oh, that was good.
That's cool.
Did you hear that one?
Yes, I do.
All right, good. That was a good one. I see that.
You see that?
Yeah, that's good.
You distracted me.
No, I'm not. They good.
On Morales. And coming in. I'm getting that you must continue to keep your peace. Don't allow people to ruffle your feathers. But practice keeping your harmony in all atmospheres and interacting with variety and diverse faculty.
Sister May, come here.
Yes, you
You've been seeking information for a long time. They say when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. You coming here is no accident. So if you're seriously considering taking the class, that would be a good thing for you. I'll leave that with you.
I'm gonna say the same thing.
So that's good. That's affirmation.
Same thing, that was Mama Rose. Ditto. Haru, now come in. Yes. Just give me clarity. Be more open to receive more clarity. I'll leave that with you. Be clear.
Shalom, right on you. You are a nurturer. And there are going to be some people coming into your life that are going to need that nurturing from you. So be open and be generous and give it to them, but be careful not to deplete too much of your energy in doing so. Now leave that with you.
Both of you now come in.
Yes.
You have this joy about gaining information, personal grow this spiritual development that is quite beautiful and attractive. Keep it up.
Dr. Man, come in. I'm getting that you should not confine yourself to one specific way to aid and assist the development of others.
Interesting that you do that. I love you guys. That gave me chills.
Mama, can I come here? The light at the end of the tunnel is starting to get brighter. You closer to what you want than you think. And I'll leave that with you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
True, can I come to you?
Of course.
I'm feeling that there's confusion in your midst. And I'm getting that you should be still and stand strong. You don't even have to respond. Your energy will repel whatever it is. Can I leave that with you?
It's good. You guys. That's a little demonstration of our students learning in class. And I know I get excited when, I'm like a mother hen, when you see your students and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then when they start doing what they're supposed to do, then they start walking straight. It's like a mama, and she see a little baby trying to walk, they fall down, but each one of them really, y'all were on the mark. You really were. It's good. It's good. Especially when I can, because I sit and I go into the energy of what it is that they're saying, and I can feel it, whether they're dead on or whether they're making it up.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. Okay. All right, so if that's said and done, and everything's done, any other questions, announcements, anything, then we're gonna do our circle.
Oh,
Yes.
next Saturday, I will be with Howard University is sponsoring the Teams of Thought program at the convention center. So the engineers, we're gonna have like a science roundtable for about 10 tables for about 2,000 children throughout the day,
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
and it's free.
Oh,
So
wow.
you have the little ones bring through.
Oh,
What
wonderful.
time?
What time?
From 10, I think from 10 to 4 at the convention center.
Can you send me a little blurb?
I'll
on
send
it?
it to you.
Because I have some teachers that I can send it to.
And also, if anybody wants to major in like STEM fields this year, the scholarships is due. I just got some applications for scholarships, and they due I think on Tuesday. It's like $1,000.
Okay, for STEM programs?
For majoring in STEM at college, STEM scholarships.
On any level?
Just college, bachelor's.
Okay, send me that too, and I'll send it out. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna get up and close. And see if we can do male, female energy, thumbs left.
Definitely was coming.
We need a female here. We need a female here. Oh.
Yeah, you just grab my hand.
You're a female.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, it's more females. All right. So let's just stand on our square and say to yourself, peace, peace. Be still and feel the oneness with all of creation, your divineness, the essence of you. And Father, Mother God, we do give thanks for this time that we spend together in oneness and in harmony, understanding and learning and knowing who we are as divine beings. Let us take upon that mantle of being our divine selves and walking in our true light and glory of who we are. And for this time that we have spent together in oneness and harmony, we say Ashe,
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 Asheo,
Asheo.
So it is. Peace. Have a wonderful day. Go back and get some nourishment. Sit and set and talk with your
How's she doing? She's doing good. She's at rehab right now. And she wants to go home this weekend. So I'm gonna text her and see if she was able to go home. I tell you, she was somebody who literally brought herself back to life. She was like, I ain't checking out. Okay, what I'm saying? She literally brought herself back. You know, and I do not get with all confidence that we have a great time. It's always exactly. Yeah, so definitely strong. A warrior, and you know, we got things to do. Yeah, that's nice. I know. Every time I see my pictures, I'm like, the tea was here yesterday. I was gonna get it graded. I'm in the midst of taking them out. I'm gonna lie, right? You ready? Yeah. I'm saying she's resonating right now. Yeah, I'm gonna do